finding users to test is incredibly important, and it's something that most people do very poorly. What we tend to do when we want feedback on an idea is we talk to people that are close to us. We talk to friends. We talk to family. We talk to neighbors. They talk to coworkers. They will lie to you, not because they're malicious, but because they have a rapport, because they are generally friendly, because they want to be nice to you. And so their opinions, I would take somewhat cautiously, because I think there's going to be a filter that's going to give you an overly positive endorsement on what you're doing. That is not helpful. You need to know the truth. You need to know the reality of how people that don't know you are going to perceive your product. You also want to be sure that you're focused on your target customer. Exclusively focus on your target customer. If you're designing something for a child, you're not going to ask an adult what they think about it necessarily. If you're designing something for a woman in her 40s, you're not going to ask a male in their 20s for their thoughts on it. So again, focus on your target customer. Look beyond friends and family. Avoid asking individuals that are not in your target market for their opinions. It doesn't matter. It might sound a little harsh to say that somebody's opinion doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the product that you're developing. Also, think about using some screener questions in order to differentiate who you should be interviewing, who you should be doing user testing with, versus who you shouldn't. So with that, it can be very brief. It can be 5 or 10 questions that you might ask someone, and that will give you a sense of should you really take your time and their time of doing the full user test. You could also begin to review people in advance. Look at LinkedIn profiles, look at Facebook profiles. You can talk to people you have a relationship with already. Nothing wrong with really digging into your professional network, your personal network, trying to find people, it may be a friend or a friend of a friend, that you can get connected with. But again, be sure you're screening people before you make contact and once you make contact as well. Screeners can include a lot of different attributes. It might be demographics. As you think about your target customer, how did you define them initially? It might be psychographics, the personalities, the values, things of that nature. It might also be behavioral, what they do, how often they do it. So factor these elements in when you're thinking about the screener. And again, 10 questions that might take a minute or 2 to go over is worth your time and worth their time to make sure they fit the target market that you're pursuing. Don't forget about the personas that you already have worked on previously. Those are great initial material to work with as you think about creating your screener. You want to find people that look like those within your persona. So recruiting from existing customers might be an option for you. If you are already in business, if you're looking at extending a product line or going into a new category of product, maybe they're already customers that you have in contact that are in your target market, and going to them and getting their feedback on the new thing may make a lot of sense. Existing relationships, too, might be enough for them to volunteer their time. Gives them some, perhaps, rapport with you to help you out for a new product that you think they could benefit from. Sometimes you might need to use some incentives, give them a nominal discount on the price of something that they're going to buy from you from your existing product lineup, but you may find that many times that's not even necessary. Now, many of us, when we are launching something new, we're starting from scratch. Maybe this is the first product that you've led, or the first product that fits a certain target market, or maybe you're a startup and this is your first product at all. Start with your personal network. Begin connecting with people in LinkedIn and begin mining those connections to see who you may have within your network and who might be within their network that you are linked to by a degree of separation of 1 or 2. I'd encourage you then to create some kind of an online survey, and with that, that's our screener that you can post broadly and you can put out to people that are in your network. You could also post that screener in other LinkedIn groups or Facebook groups, or if there are other blogs or discussion forums or user communities that are representative of the target market that you're trying to tap into, posting that there telling them a little bit about what you're doing and how you're doing it, trying to get people to raise their hand and have an expression of interest in what you're doing could make sense. You might also give gift cards or have some kind of a lottery where they get a chance at a gift card or something that gives them a little bit more of an incentive to do it as well. And if 1 and 2 are not effective here, there's a third option with outsourcing that's gaining momentum of late. There are companies out there. One of them is called user testing. And there are others as well, where you can get feedback by working with their network. You go to these sites, you tell them in step 1 kind of who your target is, and they will mine their database where they've had people that have signed up for compensation to be a user tester. And you can get as many people as you want, as many as you're willing to pay for, and that it's not free. But depending on what your budget is, you could augment your reach and outsource some of that effort as well. So there are a lot of different options that are out there now. Certainly explore them, think about them, and be sure that you get the right users for your product.